Colby, you're looking very sharp. Welcome to London. Obviously, you weighed in ahead of tonight's main event between Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Does that make you the #1 contender? Are you expecting to fight the winner of tonight's main event?
First off, I just want to say sorry to all you guys. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated business. But I'm ready to be tagged in tonight. I came here to fight for the world title. Dana White comes and tops on my shoulder right now. I'm stepping in that cage tonight, and I will bring that belt back to America where it belongs. It'll be just like the war at 1776 when we defeated the English.
I don't know if you saw, but Conor McGregor expressed his interest in fighting for the belt at 170. What do you make of that? And is that a fight that you'd like down the line, regardless if there was a belt on the line?
You know, Conor's done some great things in this sport. You know, he's a great fighter, but you know, his time is passing. He's made a lot of money, so he just doesn't have that same hunger and same drive that he used to when he first started fighting. You know, who knows what the deal with Conor, if he's coming back to fight anytime soon. You know, he still has to get in the USADA pool and do all the stuff that goes along with that. I'm ready to fight tonight, as you guys see, and I came here on 1 day's notice, cut 18 pounds, didn't cry about it, didn't make excuses. I'm the ultimate professional, unlike some other guys in my division. And, you know, I'm ready to fight today, I'm ready to fight tomorrow, I stay ready to fight. So, you know, if Conor wants to fight one day and do business, you know, it's probably the biggest fight the UFC would ever do. You know, as you guys see with the numbers this weekend that I've drawn to this event, these guys, these other idiots in the main event, they have no charisma. No one cares about them. No one wants to see them fight. I mean, their numbers are so bad, so abysmal. So I'm glad to come here and to boost the ratings and bring some electricity into this O2 arena.
Would you relish toe-to-toe verbal warfare with Conor prior to a fight? And would you rather have that fight presented to you? If you got offered a title fight and a McGregor fight, would you rather go with the McGregor fight just because of the eyes, the box office, the money?
You know, I'm here to do the biggest and best business for the UFC. This is not a game. This is a business. So we're here to make money, and I want to make a lot of money for the UFC. The UFC's changed my life in ways that I never thought possible. I love the UFC so much for what they've done for me. So I want to repay the favor. I want to do the biggest and best business for the UFC. If they want to sit down at the table and they think that's the biggest and best fight we can do, then let's do it. But, you know, I'm here to fight the biggest and best fights in this company, and you know, I'm just getting started. I haven't even hit my prime yet, physically and mentally, and I feel like the best is yet to come, and you guys are going to see a new Colby next time I step in that octagon.
Final one from me. Obviously, you are a character that guarantees pay-per-view buys, whether they love you or they hate you. But do you find, given that everything you brought to the sport, in competition and outside of the cage, do you find a lot of people come up to you in the streets and say that they're big fans of you and like the work that you do inside and outside the octagon?
Well, first part of the question, I'm not a character. I'm just Colby Chaos Covington. You know, chaos is unpredictable. Nobody knows what I'm going to do. No one knows what I'm going to do next. That's why people tune in to watch me and see what I'm doing. So, you know, I walked down the street. I was probably in the street for 5 minutes, and 50 people were coming up to me wanting pictures, autographs, this and that. Anywhere I walk in America, it's the same thing. People are bothering me. They want pictures. They want autographs. These other two idiots in the main event, they walk down the street, not 1 person out of 10 people is going to recognize them. And there's a reason for that. Those guys can't draw flies to shit. They can't draw money with a green crayon and a white piece of paper. So I'm here to save the division and make the UFC great again.
Colby, right here in front of you. You said you flew out here on 1 day's notice. How long ago did the UFC approach you to be the backup?
So Hunter Campbell and Dana White had called me about 3 weeks ago, and they were like, hey, Colby, just stay ready in case anything happens. We don't know. Someone could slip on a banana peel. Someone could get injured. Someone could miss weight. And just stay ready in case anything happened. I hadn't heard anything. Tuesday late night, about 10 p.m., Hunter Campbell calls me, says, hey, Colby, we need you to come weigh in and be the backup fighter in London. I said, all right, let's do it. And so he flew me out Wednesday morning, and I got to London Thursday morning. I weighed 188 pounds. I had 18 pounds to lose in 1 day. Did you hear me cry? Did you hear me make excuses? No, I got to work. I was an ultimate professional like I am, and I made the weight. Who else can say they do that? No one does that. It's unheard of. So I'm an ultimate professional. I proved to the UFC my worth and my value this weekend, and we're going to do the biggest and best business next.
At the press conference, both Leon and Kamaru said they had no idea that you were even coming. So, A, do you believe that? And how, if so, if that's true, how did you and the UFC kind of keep this secret? Because I don't think anyone knew you were in town until you stepped on the scale.
Yeah, the real reason you know, it was kept a secret is because, you know, a lot of people in England, you guys like to quote Shakespeare, you know. In America, where I come from, we like to quote the great poet Lil Wayne. And just like Lil Wayne said, real G's move in silence like lasagna. Shout out Wheezy.
And earlier you had mentioned some unprofessional fighters in your division. Who exactly were you referring to?
I was referring to that dog-faced motherfucker Cumshot. You know, he talks all this shit, dude. He said all these things about me in the media. Yeah, of course they're gonna say things in the media. They don't say things in my face or in the octagon. He's been saying, I want to fight for the title 1-7, I want to fight Colby, this and that. Dude, the guy quit to the common cold. The guy quit fucking on a weight cut when he had the best professionals that the UFC PI can offer. Millions of dollars put into this guy in marketing, and he had the easiest fight in the division, the soy boy Nate Diaz, and he still couldn't make weight. He missed weight by 9 pounds, and he's laughing it off like this is a fucking joke. He's a fucking joke. The guy fucking sucks at fighting. He's unprofessional, and I don't want to ever hear that guy's name again. You guys hype him up to be this great giant. The guy couldn't hold my fucking jockstrap.
Last thing on him, a lot of people seem to want it. They wanted you two to fight. Was that ever presented to you? And would you even accept that now, given what he missed weight by 9 pounds?
It was never formally presented to me. You know, we talked about it. It was the fight that I wanted. I wanted to derail that hype train. You know, everybody was building him up to be colossal, like he was this great fighter. I saw the quitter in him from the start. I knew he had no cardio. I knew I would expose his gas tank and make him break inside 5 rounds. The guy quit in 3 rounds. I mean, what's he gonna do when he gets porn star cardio and the cardio king for 5 rounds? So, you know, I was begging to fight that. I was chomping at the bit, but we saw how unprofessional he was. They gave him the easiest fight, Nate Diaz, to set it up to fight me the next fight, to build this up and make it a spectacle, and he couldn't do it. He's out there laughing, missing weight by 9 pounds when he had the best professionals in the world, the UFC PI. So the guy's a clown. I don't want to ever hear that guy's name in this division again. Let that dog-faced motherfucker rot in 85.
Colby,
one last one for me. Will you be in attendance at the pay-per-view in Miami?
You know, I'm chaos. I'm unpredictable. I may not. You know, I might be with the Mamacita in South Beach that night. I don't know where I'll be. It's tough to say where I'll be tomorrow. You know, I can't predict the future. You know, I'm just gonna come in here tonight, and hopefully Dana White comes and taps on my shoulder, and I get to sub it and win this world title and bring it back to American soil.
Colby, just over here, just going off of that. What do you think about the fight with Jorge and Gilbert Burns? How do you see that going down?
You know, I could care less about 2 jobbers in the division fighting each other. You know, I'm here to do big business for the company. You know, I came out to London to put some sizzle on this event. You know, there was no charisma. No one was talking about this event. Like, I had my buddy, you know, from the Miami Beach Police Department, and he was talking about how all the guys love fighting at the department, and they're like, hey, who's fighting this weekend? What's going on? Who's the fight? Like, these guys are avid fight fan lovers, and they had no idea there was even a fight this weekend. That's how irrelevant these guys are. And you guys saw that with my numbers yesterday at my weigh-ins. I did more numbers and more clickbait for all you guys than anybody else would have ever done, and it's not even close. So, you know, I don't care about anybody else in my division. I just want to fight the biggest and best fights. I want to fight for the title, and I'm the best fighter this division's ever seen.
And of course, I know you said you wanted to step in tonight, but obviously if that doesn't happen, do you have a time frame that you want to get back in there?
I'm ready to fight tonight. I'm ready to fight tomorrow. I'll be ready to fight next week. As you saw, UFC flew me out here on 1 day's notice, and I was ready to fight either one of these guys in the main event. Actually, I'd rather fight both of them in the main event at the same time. That's how serious I am right now. I'm finally in my physical and mental prime. I feel better than I've ever felt, and I'm ready to go. I was ready to fight these guys on a moment's notice. I'm ready to step in that octagon right now. I got my mouth guard and my cup in the back. So I'm ready to go right away. Whenever UFC and Hunter and Dana and we sit down and we decide what the biggest and best business for this company is, then we'll come back and fight.
Sorry, just last one. And of course, you've obviously been matched up. You've fought Usman before, but you haven't fought Leon before. You know, if Leon was to retain the title, how do you see that fight for yourself?
I see it looking a lot like 1776, and I see him going home in a pine coffin.
Colby, just in front of you here. Of course, you know, you've been away from the game for a while. How much are you enjoying being on stage, doing this kind of thing right now? Being at the weigh and seeing the numbers coming in the other day?
I love it. You know, this is what I live for. You know, I'm a born fighter. You know, this is my life. You know, some guys are part-time fighters and they only train when they're in training camps. You know, I love fighting. I was born to be a fighter. I'm a bred fighter, and I love everything around it, the hype, everything. Just everybody telling me what I can and can't do. All the idiots and clickbait merchants out in the media that try and think they can make these fake headlines and this fake news and actually think it's true. But the fans know the truth. That's what you saw with these numbers this weekend, was the fans, clamoring for me to come back. They want to see the real champ come back. They want to see the people's champ, America's champ, and the most important title of them all, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. Shout out Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States and the soon-to-be 47th president of the United States. He would have been the 46th if they didn't rig the election, but he's the greatest president in American history, and he's going to come back and make America great again.
What do you think of his impending arrest next week?
More fake news, more political sham. They're just weaponizing the DOJ and all the FBI to, look at this stuff. They raided his home for no reason. The Mueller report, the Russian collusion, all the hoaxes around him. All they constantly do is make up fake news about him. They don't have anything on him. This is just because they're afraid of him, and they know he's coming back and he's going to be the president in 2024, and they're just trying to stick something to him, but they got nothing.
Finally, for me, I wanted to ask about, obviously a lot has happened in your past. I'm sure you're not allowed to talk about some of the stuff that has happened over the last year, but I wanted to ask you in particular, there's guys that were around you at the time, one in particular is Bob Menery character. When have you last spoken to him, and is that relationship still something that's there, or have you guys fallen out?
Yeah, I don't have a relationship with Bob Menery. The only reason that I had met him was through the Nelk Boys, through Kyle and those guys, because I did the podcast with those guys. So, of course, I was hanging around the Nelk Boys and those guys, and I don't know what to believe with that guy. I think he set me up with what happened, but I'll let that work out the way it does. I ironically ran into him at the Super Bowl. He was there, and I crossed paths with him. He was trying to get a picture. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not taking a picture. We're not friends. We never were friends. So, I just think he's a fake guy, and no relationship.
Colby, just over here. How do you see the main event going today, anyway, between Edwards and Usman? Who do you think will win?
I don't really care. I don't think the fans care. I think the fans wanted to see me in there tonight, and I hope one of them trips on a cord, walk into the cage, so I can step in and fight and go make that division great again and win that title.
Bilal Muhammad was talking about how maybe him and yourself potentially could have been the ultimate fighter coaches. How close was that coming to fruition?
Who?
Bilal Muhammad is top 5.
Never heard of him, man. That's interesting, dude. He's never heard of him. I don't. But I don't know prelim fighters, Prelim fighters, are prelim fighters. But that wasn't close to happening at all. Never got presented to me. Haven't even talked about him. The thing is you guys are journalists. You guys need to go out there and do your jobs. Become real journalists. Do the work. Find out what's true and what's not true. Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Colby on your far right. Colby, over here.
Oh.
Hi.
What's up, Farrah?
What's up? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. You said you cut 18 pounds. Is that typically what you cut for welterweight?
Not typically. Usually it's about 13, 14, 15 pounds max. But, I was with Donald Trump last week. We were at a birthday party for Kimberly Guilfoyle at Donald Trump's house. And, we were at a party just kind of eating. And, I wasn't really thinking that I was going to be the backup fighter. I hadn't heard anything from the UFC. So I was like, I'm going to splurge a little bit. I'm going to eat and have this buffet style food and catering and not really worry about it. Hopefully I'll get the winner, this summer or whatnot, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so I was eating as much as I can, and Hunter called me Tuesday late night. He said, hey man, we need you to get on flight Wednesday, and you'll get here Thursday, and we need you to be the backup fighter just in case anything happens. I said, okay, let's do it, Hunter. I'm ready. I told you I'm ready. I stay ready. You can call me on a moment's notice. I'm ready to make weight. I'm the ultimate professional, so that's what I do, man. This isn't the Ultimate Feelings Championship. This is the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
And you talk about you wanting big fights, big money. If you were to coach the Ultimate Fighter, who do you think would be the perfect dance partner for the show, for the numbers?
Yeah, I think me and Conor would have been a great addition to the show. I think, and we didn't have to fight at the end of the show. We could have just coached the show. I think that would have been a great idea. I think there's a lot of hype around that, and obviously we're two great, guys on the mic. So I think it would have been a great opportunity. But, I just want to fight on the biggest and best fights and 5-round title fights. So I'm not looking to go get locked up in a house for 6 to 8 weeks and do the filming and the reality. I want to fight these guys, in 6 to 8 minutes, in 6 to 8 hours. I'm ready to fight on a moment's notice.
And one last one. It's been a year since you've last fought, but typically it hasn't really affected you. We saw what happened when you fought Robbie Lawler. DC was kind of saying that inactivity could harm you, but do you just look at it as time to get better?
Absolutely. Time to just remember why I started this and remember what I've came from, you know, and be thankful for everything that I have. You know, UFC's changed my life. You know, I was able to you know, acquire the American dream, and I'm thankful to the UFC for that. So now we're gonna sit back, and I want the biggest and best opportunities that this company has to offer, and they know that. So they know they're not gonna waste my time with prelim fighters or unprofessional guys that, you know, like cum shots. So, you know, it's been a great time to reflect, and just that burning desire in my heart is still there, and I want this more than ever. I want to show the world who the greatest fighter in the UFC is, and that's me, the #1 pound for pound, the people's champ, America's champ, Donald Trump's favorite fighter. He's coming back with a vengeance soon, I promise you that, Farrah.
Thank you.
Colby, over it.
Just in terms of Kamaru, he alluded to the fact that you were a better opponent and is a better opponent than Leon. Just wanted to know, is Leon Edwards on your level?
No, he's not close to my level. I mean, you guys saw what happened when I fought Marty Fake Newsman in Madison Square Garden. I beat him. Every single fan knew that. When I walked out of the Madison Square Garden arena, every fan was like, dude, you easily won that 3 rounds to 2. I thought you won 4 rounds. The only round we saw him winning was the 2nd round, you know? That was it, you know? So, you know, I clipped him in the 4th round. I won the 3rd round. I won the 5th round. I mean, it was clear that I beat him in Madison Square Garden, and it's clear that I'm the real main event and the real people's champion right now. So just because I don't have this fake belt, this Power Rangers belt around my waist, the people know who the real champ of this division is, and that's me, and that's why I'm here tonight.
Were you surprised that we eventually saw Kamaru lose?
Not really. You know, we know in the UFC anything can happen at any moment. You know, this is as real as it gets. So every second of every fight, you're in danger. You can get knocked out. You can get submitted. That's what makes this the purest sport of them all. So, man, UFC is a beautiful thing, and, you know, you're never truly out until the last second of the fight.
And then just final one from me. In your eyes, what makes you the greatest UFC superstar at the moment?
What makes myself the greatest superstar at the moment is just the work I put in, the blue-collar work ethic that I have. You know, just day in and day out, you know, my diligent, you know, work ethic is just, you know, no one can match that. You know, there's a reason I'm the cardio king, and, you know, it's a lot of work in the bedroom and a lot of work in the mats and things that go on behind the scene. I don't have to take a picture every time I'm training like these fighters. Oh, guys, look, I'm at boxing class. Guys, look, I'm at jiu-jitsu. I'm getting a belt today. No, man, I'm putting hard work in silence, and I'm gonna let my success make the noise.
Colby, over here. Yeah. Hello, mate. First of all, welcome to the UK. If you don't step in the cage tonight, I'm sure you'll be disappointed if you don't. Are you going to wait until a title opportunity comes up, or would you happily fight between then and now and then?
First off, thank you for welcoming me to the UK. I can't say this has been a welcome place. The food sucks, the weather sucks, the girls definitely suck, but I mean, I do come from Miami, so I'm the king of Miami, so it's tough to compare to Miami, but, you know, it hasn't been an enjoyable trip. The only thing that would cap it off and make it so great is if Dana White comes and taps on my shoulder and I get to sub in tonight and go win that world title.
But if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, would you happily fight in between now and then a title opportunity, or would you just wait it out for the winner of this fight?
As you can see, I came here on a day's notice to fight for a world title against either one of these schmucks that are fighting tonight. Either one of them. So I'm ready to fight tomorrow. I was ready to fight yesterday. I'll be ready to fight whenever. I mean, it's up to the UFC, you know. This is not a game. This is a business. We're here to make money. We're here to draw money and make this company business money. So whenever we can come up with the biggest and best fight that makes sense for this business, then we'll come back and I'll come out and play, and I'll put money in all your guys' bank accounts, because you guys used to love my name for the clickbait so you guys can put money in your bank accounts, and you guys are always talking about fighter pay. Well, if you guys care so much about fighter pay, why aren't you guys paying the fighters? Because you're profiting off the fighters, but you're not paying the fighters. So I don't want to hear you guys talking about fighter pay anymore.
All right, thanks for that, and I hope your UK experience gets a little bit better, man.
I appreciate it, brother.